guys, and welcome to another Disney's reading. This time we're going to do The Black Cauldron, Defeat of the Honoured King. And our smelly assistant is here. Would you like to say hello? Hello. Not sure if you can hear. Right, anyway, let's begin. Righty-ho. Let's make sure everything's okay. Right. The evil horned king was after the Black Cauldron. The cauldron's dark powers would make him invincible, but where was the mysterious cauldron? The king had captured Hen Wen, a pig with special powers, thinking she had the answer. But Taran, the assistant pig keeper who cared for Hen Wen, had managed to free his pig, and she had escaped the wicked king. Now Taran and his new friend, Princess Eleanor, were trying to escape from a dark dungeon in the king's castle where they were imprisoned. They wandered through a maze of underground tunnels when they came to an ancient burial chamber. Something gleaming caught Taran's eye. It was a sword. Taran had always dreamed of being a great warrior, so he picked up the sword and took it with him. Then the children heard a cry for help. Following the sound, they came upon a kind old minstrel named Flender Flam, held captive in another dungeon. As they began to free him, they heard the king's henchmen out in the passageway. They were after Taran and Eleanor. The three fugitives ran to find an exit and got separated in the commotion. "Get them!" cried the king's henchmen. One of them cornered Taran, but when Taran's sword touched the henchman's axe, the axe fell to pieces. The sword was magic. Princess Eleanor found Taran and they ran for the castle drawbridge. Using the power of the magic sword, Taran opened the drawbridge and they escaped across the bridge to the safety of the woods beyond, with Flendele close behind them. At last they could stop and rest. Suddenly a furry little creature tackled Flendele looking for food. It was Taran's friend Kurgi. Oh my god, these are some strange names. Kurgi. He knew that Taran's pig, Hen Wen, was lost in the woods. Saw Piggy's tracks, Kurgi said to Taran. Today the group followed Hen Wen's footprints to a lake. When Kurgi hopped onto some rocks in the water, a whirlpool began to swirl around him. It was so strong that all four of them, Kurgi, Taran, Eleanor, and Fleur, were pulled under. As if in a dream, they soon found themselves in an underground world. It was the land of tiny fairy-like creatures called the Fair Folk. "Hello," said Adeleg, the king of the Fair Folk. "Can I be of any service?" The king was kind to the visitors, but best of all, Taran found Hen Wen safe and sound among the Fair Folk. "Oh, Hen!" cried Taran. Hen Wen happily jumped into the boy's arms. Then the travellers told King Adeleg of the Horned King's evil plans. King Adeleg wanted to help. If Taran and his friends could destroy the cauldron before the Horned King found it, they could stop him. King Adeleg knew where the cauldron was hidden, so he sprinkled the travellers with fairy dust and sent them off to find it. The friends soon arrived at a tumble-down cottage. Inside lived three witches, guardians of the Black Cauldron. They were not going to give it up easily. Taran held out his magic sword. "I offer my dearest possession in exchange for the Black Cauldron," he said. The witches loved a bargain. They grabbed the sword greedily as the ground began to shake. Then the mighty Black Cauldron rose from beneath the earth. "Quick, we must destroy it," cried Taran, but it seemed indestructible. The witches looked on and cackled wickedly. The Black Cauldron could never be destroyed, said one of them. Only its evil powers can be stopped. Then there is a way, said Taran. "But how?" "A living being must jump into it of his own free will," replied the witch Ordu. Then she added, "However, the poor duckling will never come out alive." What would Taran and his friends do now? As they sat around a campfire trying to think of something, flying creatures called Guafians coiffures flew overhead. Quickly, Gurgi hid behind a tree. The Horned King's henchmen had found them. The wicked creatures grabbed the Black Cauldron and took it to the Horned King's castle, along with Turan, Elone, and Flender. Trembling, Gurgi made his way to the castle. He was terrified, but he knew he could not abandon his friends in that evil place. Already the Horned King had used the Black Cauldron to bring his evil army of skeletons to life. The army marched out of the castle, but Gurgi sneaked past them and found his friends. "Good boy, Gurgi," cried Turan, as the furry creature untied them all. The friends were happy to be rescued. Still, Turan knew they would not be safe as long as the cauldron's powers were intact. To protect the land, Turan prepared to jump into the bubbling cauldron, but little Gurgi jumped first. "No!" cried Turan, but Gurgi was gone. The Horned King's evil army collapsed and the king was pulled into the Black Cauldron. As the castle walls crashed down around them, Turan, Elone and Flunda managed to escape onto the lake in a boat. Then, from a distance, they watched the castle crumble into the ruin. The Black Cauldron appeared bobbing in the water, and they sadly thought of poor little Gurgi. The three witches were watching too. They wanted the Black Cauldron back, and they were prepared to bargain for it. They offered Turan the magic sword in exchange for the cauldron, but Turan said no. "I would trade the cauldron for Gurgi," said Turan. Immediately the witches began to fly in a circle. Wind swept the water like a tornado. When it stopped, the cauldron was gone, and Gurgi was lying on the beach. He reached a small paw towards Turan. "Gurgi," cried Turan, "you're alive!" With joy, Turan and Elone hugged their hero. Gurgi's happy day," said the little creature with a smile. It was a happy day for Gurgi, for his friends and for all the land. The end. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please click like, and if you'd like to see more, please click subscribe. So if you'd like to say goodbye, smell your stand. Bye.